Alright guys, and now welcome to the second part of the video. Well, we discuss what I consider weathering essentials, especially for people who are just getting into weathering for the first time. So without further ado, here you've got a selection of what I consider absolute essentials when it comes to weathering. Now, if you watch any videos related to the grimdark start of painting, what they will tell you to get basically invariably will be streaking grime. So something like this. Everyone gets streaking grime. They don't know why, but this is what they get. So my advice to you, first of all, is do not buy this product and do not think that this is the universal solution. It ain't. So forget about this. That's step number one. Secondly, what I would get first would be a couple of enamel washes, starting with this one in particular. Wash for Tracks by AK Interactive, or basically the same thing, Tracks Wash by Animal of Meg. They are indistinguishable. There's no difference by whatever you can find. These are basically a very dark rust enamel. This is a great base for anything rust related. The second thing I would buy instead of streaking grime would be one of these. And again, you can see that the brands have essentially, these two brands have the same names. You can get Starship Wash by Animal of Meg or Starship Detail Wash by AK Interactive. No difference. What are they? Well, as you can see, they're essentially like greenish blacks. This is great for to provide a wash for any light vehicle or any light model, let's say World Eaters for Horus Heresy, or anything that's gray or white or anything like that. This will come out great. In either case, you will need some of this enamel thinner. The brand is irrelevant, but I would say do not buy the cheaper kind from a dollar store. Buy a dedicated thinner from a hobby brand. Whatever the brand is, does not matter. You will, for example, with your Tracks Wash, you will dilute that by about 30% is what I would recommend. It's always better to go like slightly thinner first, and do not take them directly from the pot. Decant them into something with a little bit of thinner, like say a little pot. Now the next product, essentially your first Track Wash, second Starship Wash, third enamel thinner. Your fourth one would be a couple of pigments. Now, what I would recommend first probably would be a couple of light rust pigments like these, which you can use in conjunction with the much darker Track Wash to basically accentuate it and create your own rust effects. There is very little that you will not be able to do with just these three products in terms of rust effects. You can also mix the pigments with enamel thinner and create like a wash. You can mix the pigments with the enamel wash. That works too. There's quite a few combinations. Or of course, use the pigments by themselves, in which case you can use the enamel thinner as a fixer, or you can get a dedicated pigment fixer, which is basically the same thing, but with a few additives, I think, to increase like its adhesive power, if you like. And that leads me to my fifth, recommendation? I'm losing track of the numbers, which would be a couple of things to create chipping effects. Now, the cheapest and most basic form of chipping would be to get a kitchen sponge with some paint and call it a day. You've seen it before. It's merely to apply a stippling motion with this, and you create some nice sponge chipping is the name of the technique. Now, I have nothing against that, but it has limitations. For example, I can tell you that I can immediately recognize the use of sponge chipping on models from like a mile away. There are cases where it's really nice, but again, you will have a ceiling and it will be easily recognizable by someone with experience. In terms of the ceiling, what do I mean by that? Well, not all objects get weathered and damaged in the same way. and some of them do not get damaged in the way that a sponge texture would indicate, right? They get scratches, for example, and then you've got to do fake scratches with your brush. That I would definitely advise you to stay away from. So instead of sponge chipping, what can you do? Well, you can use your sponge in conjunction with this sort of product, which is a liquid mask. This is my favorite one, highly recommended, Mescal by Humbrol. And what you do is you apply it, yes, with a sponge on top of a surface that you have previously base coated, for example, these armor plates. And then you paint on top of it. And what the liquid mask will do is that it will allow you to create pretty realistic scratches and paint chips by removing the top coat, which you do with, for example, a rough old brush. If that sounds interesting, I've got quite a few videos on the subject, including dedicated ones. Just look for liquid mask chipping. Now, the other way to recreate chipping effects and to do so, in a rather inexpensive way, is to buy one of these. Again, AK and ammo, they're the same, slightly different names. It's the exact same product. This is chipping fluid, which allows you to use a technique that's originally called hairspray chipping, because that's what people used before these sorts of things were developed. And essentially, it's similar to liquid mask in that you would spray this over an already painted, or base coated, I should say, surface. You would allow this to dry, and then you would paint over it. And in this case, you would need to activate it, you would need a brush dampened with water, and that would create the scratches or chips, as it were. Now, my last recommendation is a very simple one, and that's to get some brushes that are appropriate specifically for weathering. The first thing to get, and the one that will make the most difference, is a synthetic liner brush, maybe in a couple of sizes. These are the ones that you would use in conjunction with your enamel washes to create what we call a pin wash, which is a really precise application of the product, allowing it to flow through capillary action. Again, if you're interested in the technique, I have, well, a ton of tutorials dedicated to that. The other kind of brush I would get would be one of these, a synthetic saw brush. This is really good for streaking effects. And lastly, something that you probably already own is a flat brush. Well, actually, this is not. It's an angled brush, but you get what I mean. If you have a bunch of old flat brushes lying around, don't throw them away. They are really great to apply weathering effects. And that brings me to our conclusion. So what I would recommend for someone who's getting into weathering for the first time would be a couple of enamel washes, a couple of pigments, thinner, and either chipping fluid or liquid mask, or both if you can afford that, and a few relatively, cheap brushes. They're nothing special, and they're definitely all synthetic, and that'll get you basically at least 80% of all the weathering effects that you want to create. So if you have questions, and I expect that you might, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys.